The green revolution is here and it is powerful, so much so that it's revolutionizing a dinosaur industry that's been around for over a century. This is the legacy automakers. Companies such as Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Kia, and Ford, just to name a few, recognize that the electrification of vehicles is the future. If they don't go all in on this, they're gonna get left behind moving into the next 5 to 10 years. And of course, we know that Tesla is leading all of this at the forefront. And with this electric car boom, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to recognize that batteries are growing increasingly more important to power all of these electric vehicles now and moving forward. So the big question is, well, what materials actually makes these batteries? So there's a couple of different metals. Some of the most biggest ones are lithium, cobalt, and manganese. These metals have been booming as far as price goes due to the increase in demand the past couple years. However, there is one metal that's not quite getting the spotlight it really should, and so this could really open up for a great investing opportunity. So the metal that I'm talking about here is silver. But before I get into it, let's go ahead, please take this moment to help me out by hitting that thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel. Silver has some absolutely incredible industrial applications. So not only with just EVs in general, but just regular ICE vehicles, regular gas vehicles also require a lot of silver, and anything to do with consumer electronics. So if we think about companies like Apple or Nvidia, they also use quite a lot of silver. And anything that just requires a PCB board or a printed circuit board in order to operate needs silver. So things such as your smartphone, tablets, laptops, computers, cameras, they all are reliant on silver. Even these mega trends such as AI technology, blockchain technology, autonomous driving, the green revolution with solar powers, they all require silver in order to operate. This is why silver is becoming ever more important. Why is that? Mainly because silver is the best conducting metal that we have. Silver acts as like the fast lane when it comes to energy movement, and all of these electronics require the movement of energy.
Nothing works without silver. These automobiles that they're here to find supply for just simply won't work without silver, because it joins everything together, all the solder, all the connections between the computer systems. Tesla electric car is basically a computer sitting on a stack of batteries. Without that computer operating those batteries, the electric vehicle won't work. And without silver, the computer won't work.
And there's no substitute for silver in this process?
No, there's not. No, because the speed of movement of information between the computer and the batteries cannot be duplicated without another metal.
And that was Keith Neumeyer, CEO of First Majestic Silver, talking about the importance of silver as far as industrial applications. And he continues to go on to talk about, now with this huge boom in solar as well as EVs, with mining and production of silver, there actually might not be enough silver to go around and satisfy this demand.
The supply challenges for the silver industry to supply the automotive sector, I think they will start looking at this industry a lot more aggressively. And if I was Elon Musk, I'd be very active in this area. So you've got two industries consuming about 30% of the world's supply of silver. The mining sector produces around 825 million ounces of silver. And these two industries didn't exist 20 years ago based on computers and cell phones. I never thought that we would have electric vehicles and solar panels.
So of course we have to keep in mind that Keith is the CEO of a silver company, so maybe it's a part of his agenda to make us think that silver is highly scarce and we should scoop it up. And so let's go ahead and take a second opinion from one of our favorite financial YouTubers that we follow closely here, Brian from ClearValue Tax, to see what his opinion on silver.
We are witnessing growing demand for silver. However, the supply of silver production will not keep up. This year in 2022, silver supply will grow by 2%. This is clearly not keeping up with silver demand growing at 16%. So the majority of that easy to mine silver, that's gone. It's been depleted. Demand for solar panels and electric vehicles is accelerating, and that will continue to increase for the next decade. that means that we're gonna need more silver.
And to add more fuel to the fire, Tesla actually considered to take on a 10 to 20% stake in a mining company called Glencore, which is one of the largest commodity mining companies out of Switzerland. And at FT Futures of the Car 2022 conference, Elon said, "We will address whatever limitations are on accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. It is not that we wish to buy mining companies, but if that's the only way to accelerate the transition, then we will do that." And with all of this, Elon was also spotted following the Wall Street Silver Twitter account, so it's looking very likely that Elon is getting interested in making some huge moves in silver. So if we go ahead and talk about investing in silver, because we know by now that silver is just going to be an absolute requirement with the future that we're heading in with autonomous driving, solar, electric vehicles, and computing power. However, silver also has another great benefit to it.
With any surplus money, I am accumulating various stocks and assets, and silver is one of them. It is the perfect storm for silver in a good way. It's the absolute perfect setup. Silver is a store of value. It is a hedge against monetary inflation. That means that the Federal Reserve and central banks, they go back to their old ways of just printing money like crazy. The dollar will weaken because sooner or later, most likely in 2023, the Federal Reserve will go back to cutting interest rates and quantitative easing. This will give an additional boost to most commodities, including silver. Silver is going to be a very good way to protect yourself.
So there were 2 points there. Very much like gold, silver is also a store of value. So when the power of the dollar falls, silver will still preserve its value. And not only that, when the Fed also begins to print money again, because at the moment they're doing quantitative tightening, which is raising interest rates, sucking money out of the system, but eventually they're gonna have to pivot and they're gonna start printing money again, and this is gonna be a good thing for commodities, including silver.
Do you know what the icing on the cake is? It's that the price of silver has still not skyrocketed yet. So here's a 20-year chart of the price of silver. It's currently at $23 an ounce. At these prices, I am accumulating silver for the long term. If you want to invest in silver, you don't need to buy the actual physical silver. You can, but you don't need to. You can buy silver on the stock market just like you buy a stock. I'm buying the silver ETF. It's the ticker symbol SLV.
This is SLV's chart. This is the stock or ETF that Brian is buying for his silver play. And he's right, he's not wanting to buy real actual physical silver, because if you think about it, you're gonna need to find a supplier, buy it, transport it home, find a safe place for it, store it somewhere, or rent a place to store it. And then when it's time to actually sell your silver, you need to go back to the supplier and sell it back to them. So it's certainly much more of a hassle, but there's definitely pros and cons for each method. But buying it on the stock market is definitely the much easier way. And at the moment, we can see that when Brian made that video, he made it at around December of last year. And since then, silver actually pumped up all the way to the upper part of the channel. Now it actually has retraced back down. And so now we're hovering at around $19. It went to about $18 range. So if you're not actually interested in buying the physical silver, you could definitely look into SLV to build out your silver position. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the video with Brian telling us when he thinks would be a great time to sell.
There's gonna be more demand than there is supply, and when that happens, the price is going to go up. So I'm looking to sell my silver when people realize that we have a problematic supply-demand deficit, when the dollar weakens, and it's the perfect storm, the perfect time to sell.
Alright guys, that is about it for the video. If you learned something, definitely please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I'm really trying hard to get this channel monetized, which I need 1,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for your subscription. Alright guys, my name is Jimmy Invest, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.